Welcome to Who Knows Best. I'm Cassie Bollinger, and I think I can't figure out which way it is.
I'm Jackie Duran.
We are here. This is January 1st of 2025. Guys, we made it. We made it. It's been like 4 years since the world changed, since I started with Cincy, and I'll tell you what, I had to take a lax this year. Like this whole year, I focused on me. I focused on like rebuilding myself to get back to normal. And I don't know, normal is really. Oh, I don't even know. I didn't even check where my microphone's at. Hold on. Let me pull my microphone out. Y'all might want to hear me. Hello, hello.
Oh, there she is. Okay, got you.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it was all the way down. Why didn't you tell me you couldn't hear
Well,
me?
I mean, I was like, well, I'm on my laptop, and so I was like, okay, well, maybe I just need to turn the volume up. It's fine. It's fine.
It's been so long since we actually did a podcast that I forgot to pull the microphone first, but that's okay. I'm gonna see if I can change the colors on here without turning it off. Maybe. Hold on. I gotta
Oh,
get the
what?
multicolor. I gotta get the vibe going.
Yes, I
Let's
love
see.
it.
Is that yellow? Is it changing colors?
Yeah, it looks like it.
It's nope, it's still sitting at yellow. It
Oh,
already changed. I don't know,
oh,
maybe
there it goes.
maybe we'll do we'll just do the purple. Okay.
Oh, I like
So
it.
I kind of I slacked off this year, but I don't feel it's a slack off. I think I stepped back for this year to kind of figure out where I wanted to do, where I wanted to be, and I went back to school full time. I mean,
Yeah.
2024, maybe we should go through like 2024, all the amazing things that happened. Like you had some big
Oh
things that
man,
happened in 2024. You had a lot of things happen.
I did, and I've changed jobs, and I went from working 12-hour overnight shifts and now back to normal. And that threw off my entire life, not just my schedule, but my entire life. And it's just lately that now I'm starting to feel like I'm back in the groove of things, and I'm finding the things that bring me joy. And then, oh, I haven't even shared with you yet. So for Christmas, remember last podcast, the one before Christmas, we talked about taking time for ourselves, or like ways that we can kind of
Yeah,
um,
self-care, but which we were
self
all
care.
like,
And
getting
yes,
my nails done. It's like it's not
right.
always like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So for Christmas, I got myself, and I got one for Madison too, because I saw it on Amazon or something. But it's a color by number book. And so you don't know what it is. Like it doesn't show, it's just like shapes. It's like little circles or triangles or whatever. And you just literally start coloring, and you don't have any idea what the picture is until like you're, well, a lot of them I don't even know till I'm all the way done. And then I'm like, oh, look, it's a little wizard. Okay, I figured it out. But I did that um all day Christmas Day, or was it the day after Christmas? I don't remember now. The day after Christmas, whatever. And then like the other night I did it, and just to kind of relax and unwind. Oh my gosh, I didn't look at my phone. I was just sitting there like watching just whatever was on TV, and I'm just coloring the whole time. I'm thinking, I was like, this is really good for me. I
Mhm.
like this.
Yeah.
So I found a little self-care thing. So I like it.
I've been looking at those, but I want the acrylic markers that I keep seeing on the TT world. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Every time I look at them, then there's over half of them are bad reviews. So then I'm like, because I look at reviews, guys. Like
Hmm.
I want to know that it's actually good. Like people are buying this and liking it, not getting those five-star reviews that are like perfect present, great job. Like, and I'm like, no, I want to know how it paints. Like, tell me if it does it bleed through? Does it do all the things? So are you coloring
Yeah.
it with like just Sharpies or are you coloring it?
No, no, I didn't even no, because first of all, I didn't want it to bleed. So I
Right.
just got on Amazon, because that's where I ordered the books from. So I just got on Amazon, and I found just two marker sets, because like I said, I got one from Madison too. And I just found just two marker sets that were no bleed, and had like, I don't know, there's like 40, 50 colors in each one. So yeah, I mean, they work fine. And so
Oh,
yeah, it's nice.
well, and you haven't even hit on the big part of 2024. You have a new body.
Oh
Like,
yes,
hello? I mean,
I was like,
she's
hold
like,
on.
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? Skinny minute over
You know what?
here.
I was actually just talking about that on Tuesday when I was leaving work because I was talking with my friend Fallon, and she was like, Jackie, she was like, how long has it been since your surgery? And I was like, oh my gosh. So January 19th will be 1 year
Hello, yeah, I knew it was
post-op.
in January, and you're just all like, yeah, so switch jobs and Christmas, and I'm like, hello, Jackie, we got some other things that's been happening.
I tell you, I mean, that has been a journey in and of itself, just learning my body again and feeling healthy and feeling good about myself. And that's been fantastic. It really has helped me as a person. And it's still a work in progress because there's times where I'm like, oh, I don't feel like eating. Like I don't get too hungry because my tummy's small, so I don't get that hungry. And then I'm like, oh my God, what am I? I'm like starving myself. I have to actually eat. I have to think about what I'm eating now. And so, yeah, it's work, but
Yeah, I came across a
good.
video because I'm going through the perimenopausal. So and we're gonna
Mhm.
dive in deep. So if it's men that are watching this, just understand that I'm gonna talk about my woman body.
You'll
Um,
learn some.
yeah. That we automatically get this weight gain because our hormones are changing. So everything's out of flux. But our instinct is like, oh, I've gained weight, so I'm not gonna eat. And there was a video and it was a nutritionist, and she's like, you need to eat more because your body is changing. Like you have to fuel it to kind of get through it. And,
Hmm.
and that's the worst thing about dieting because, I mean, and I know that dieting has always been this up and down fluctuation through my entire life. And so it's like, when we're kids, we're just like, I'll starve myself and have the one grape
Yeah.
and a bite of a cracker and drink a lots of water. And then it's like, it gets crazy as we grow up. And it's, I'm like, I'm finally just okay. Like, I know God put me in this body for a reason because if I was skinny, my God, I'd take over the world. So, it's just like, he was like, I gotta give you some fluff, for some legends. But anyways, but it's this last year because of not only did I go through the perimenopausal, I also am an
Hmm.
empty nester. So I am alone
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
my husband all the time. And it just
Yeah.
sucks. Like there's not that we needed a buffer, but we've always had a buffer, like with my daughters
Yeah.
in and out, or even when they were working two jobs, not even being at home, but they're still coming in. They're still like, where's Amber at? Or what time's she coming home? What time she get off work? And I'm like, I don't know. Like I check the calendar and sometimes made it look like she was working 24 hours because of course on the calendar it starts at 11:59. Well, she wouldn't get
Hmm.
off work till 12:30 in the morning, especially on the weekends and like
Uh,
when school was out. So then it would look like she was working from today all the way till tomorrow. And then she was
yeah.
working tomorrow all the way to the next day. And it was so I was like, just put it for 11:59. I just know it's automatically 12:30 when y'all close down or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but I've gone through a lot, like emotionally and physically, and then like almost um like mentally having to readjust. Like, who is Cassie?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
who am I? Because I stepped a little bit away and stepped back from my Scentsy business because I wanted to learn more about TikTok. I wanted to just kind of understand what's the deal with TikTok? Like, I'm a scroller. I was just like, I was a consumer. All I wanted to do was find something funny and share it with my friends and be like, ha ha, like, look at this, like, this is us. Or, the inspiration was like, girl, whoever sent this to you says that
Yeah.
you are amazing and beautiful. Like, we share those all the time. Like, if you go through our chats, it's always like, do you know how beautiful you are? Your friend sent this to you just to say how wonderful. And so I wanted to understand the platform because I know Facebook. Like I know a lot
Mhm.
about Facebook. And that's where I run my business. But I've kind of lost my identity. Like I'm the Cincy consultant on Facebook. So I was the drunk before, always in a bar, always showing the pictures of me being in a bar, being like, what's up? And then it was now, and then I stopped and then I was a sober person. So then everybody was like, oh, don't look at her because then we'll get sober too, or something like that. And then because
Yeah,
that's how it
yeah, it's
feels.
leprosy.
Yeah, it's like if don't stare at her because then she won't know that I see her. Like I'm staring at her. Um, and then it was empty nest, like, and my daughters are on TikTok, like, that is where they're at, and so I was like, "You know what? I wanna share in that." Like, I wanna understand it more because they're always like, "Mom, you gotta go in here and do this and gotta do that," and I was like, I was tired of them acting like I am not a smart person, like, I'm
Right.
technologically challenged or something, and so I'm like, "I'm gonna figure it out." So, I've been going live. I've been really diving into learning how to get followers, like, what does that mean from me as a creator and for me also as a consumer following other
Mhm.
people? What does interaction look like? Because the more I've learned about TikTok, the more I understand also about like all the platforms of where they're
Yeah.
moving to, where they're moving from, how they've adjusted and how they've melded. And I mean, for me, it's eye opening because 2024 is ending as 2025 is coming through. This is just like a whole new era for us because
Yeah.
we've had the 4 years since COVID to like establish, regrow back from when we
Yes.
were scared and then we were isolated and then we slowly started to see people. We had, I had the agoraphobia because I didn't want to go out. And then it was the whole
Mhm.
like, then you're germaphobe because you're like, I don't want to touch anything because they keep telling everybody they're gonna pass away. I guess, that kind of thing. And, now it's kind of like we're back relaxed and getting back out
Yeah.
there. And so
Yeah.
this
It's a
is
lot.
it is. I mean, and this all happened and I decided to go back to school full time
Yes.
and, cram 16 hours in 1 semester, one 16-week course in 14 days, another 16-week course in 4 weeks, and went to SFR. Then I
Yeah.
had another 16 hours in my last semester, and I took off for winter break. I was like, "I need to find me."
Yes. Yes.
So,
It's hard. It's a lot because it is. It's a lot, and I don't think that we realize it when we're going through it because it just seems, like we're just trying to get through, like, "I'm just trying to get through today to get to tomorrow." Like,
yeah.
I'm just trying to make it through. But then, yeah, I mean, obviously with New Year's Eve and, at least for me when I was looking through Instagram, yesterday, I was like, "Oh my gosh," there's just like everybody's posting, all their year in reviews and all of this stuff, and I was like, "Oh, man, it really has been." I mean, it's been a lot. It's been a lot, and so it's
Yep.
hard to digest, it's hard to take it all in, and then, just looking ahead, like, I hadn't even sat down to by this time, normally, I would have already have, like, my New Year planner all set up on my iPad. I just bought my digital planner for the year today. I didn't even download it yet. I just bought it. So I still have to do that, but I feel like I'm a little bit behind, but at the same time, I feel like I'm getting back. I'm like you said, right? Like I kind of reset. I kind of pulled away so I could reset because work and everything was getting crazy. And then I had a grandbaby, and then I had a niece, and then my grandfather passed, and then so it was a lot of things going on, and so I have literally just been piece by piece by piece, like putting back the pieces of Jacqui that I want back in my life at a
Yes.
time. And so I feel like it's a rebuild, even though normally I'd be giving myself anxiety, like, why haven't I made my goals for the year? Why haven't I
Well, I
done all
think
of
our
these things?
anxiety for
But
that was gone in 2024 because we got so
yeah.
far behind that not but one thing about Cincy is you're really never behind. You may have
Hmm.
missed like something may have passed, but it's not like you're behind because we all run our business. But I think the anxiety for me through 2024 was so there because I was so involved for 2021, 2020,
Yes.
2021, 2022, 2023. I was like, oh my gosh. And then 2024, I'm like, why am I working 20 hours a day to get very minimal results? And I was
Right.
like, if I pull back a little bit and then look at the big picture. And so my anxiety now, like, because normally I already have all my daily posts scheduled,
Yeah.
created, shared through the Facebook world of the Cincy consultants on Canva. I already finished everything like that. I've already updated all of my like I today was like a great last night was a great night. Today's a great day. I've gotten so much stuff done and I was just like, I have tomorrow. Like
Yeah.
I have all day tomorrow. I have,
That's
I
fabulous.
mean, it doesn't, no one is going to care if I miss
No,
one day. Like, no one
no.
calls me and be like, why didn't you, what, you didn't share the
Yeah.
Canva post? And oh my gosh, you didn't post today. And, like, and I'm not saying that no one cares about me. I'm saying like no one, it's not like I'm putting so much pressure on
Right.
myself
Yes,
to
exactly.
fulfill a need for like Jacqui needs those. Like,
Right.
no, no one needs it because if they honestly needed it, they would do it themselves. Like it's,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
I have to realize we're all human and we're all going to do it in our own time. And if I
Yeah.
decide to be like, I'm going to start with day 2, and it's like, no one's going to be like, I'm not buying from her. She didn't start with day
Yeah.
1. She started
Right.
day 2, you know? It's, I gotta, we're doing it at our own pace. I mean, because this
Yeah.
next year, I mean, we have, so, I mean, like, I haven't planned. I mean, I have tomorrow, I have to call about my certifications on my associate's degree, and get those like tests, find out like how much, what time, how long does it take, when do they schedule them, if they're certain, like,
Hmm.
I got to get all that done tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's a priority over, let me get my Canvas stuff done. It's like,
Right. Right.
but that
Yeah.
way, if I can get set, scheduled,
Hmm.
and I have my plan of what I want to accomplish in 2025, because I will graduate with an associate's. I will have 2 certificates, and hopefully by the end of that May, I will also have 3 certifications
Oh
that
my
I
goodness.
can get a job. Because I need some insurance, people. Like, I love me some Cincy, but I need some insurance. So, but that is, I talked yesterday, like on TikTok, about resolutions really needs, like, that word gives me such
Mm.
anxiety because it's
Yeah.
like, I didn't resolve anything from last year, but I'm changing that to like, I'm setting new goals for my new dream. Like,
Yes.
so
Yes.
you
I
find
love
your
that.
dream and you work back. Like, I'm starting to do like, where do I want to end up? And I'm working backwards.
Yes.
And so I want a job. I want to make, 80,000 a year. So
Hmm.
how do I find that? And what do I need? So I'm working backwards.
Right.
Got the associates and I got to fill out the inside here. And then I
Hmm.
got to start applying. So, and with Cincy, I'm doing the same thing. Cause I'm like, okay, I have the end of our fiscal year, or the
Yeah.
end of our Cincy year is the end of
Yes.
April.
Hmm.
The end of our, we just started our new year. So we have 4 months left of anybody who's working for annual sales, annual mentor, and it's never too
Yeah.
late. Like, it's
Yeah.
never too late. I'm 20,000. If I, like, I'm 20, like, I have, well, less than
Oh,
that.
you totally got this. You've got
Yeah.
this.
So I honestly, I know that I can do 4,000 in a month if I push.
Hmm.
And I'm like, does it need to be this year? And I'm like, you know what? If I set it for a goal, the worst that's going to
Hmm.
happen is maybe I don't get it completely this year, but you know
Right.
what? I'm better this year than I was at last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's,
It's really, I think it's more about just staying intentional and consistent, and like you said, work. I like the concept. I like how you put that, of working backward, figuring out where it is, and then what are the steps to get there? Like, how do I get from A to Z? How do I get to that point? So what is it that I need to do to get there? Because I think with, like I said, even just looking at Instagram and everybody and all, it's very inspiring. I love watching everybody else's, year in review, and here's my goal, here's my resolution. I mean, I love it. I think it's great. And I've been one of those people who's always done that. I've always done that. And this year I didn't. But I was like, you know what? I'm not feeling it this year. And you know what? That's okay.
yeah,
That's okay, because I now know what is important to me. I know what I want in my business. I know what I want in my life. I know what my priorities are. I feel balanced. Like, yeah, I feel good. So it's fine. I don't need to stress about the fact that I don't have a word and I haven't written down all of my goals yet. I will. I know I'll get there. But as long as I keep that focus, as long as I stay and do whatever it is and do it consistently, then I know I'll be okay.
yeah.
I mean,
Well, and
at
it's
the
kind of
end of the
like
day, that's it.
your end goal would be your dream. Like, I want to
Mhm.
accomplish this is my dream for 2025, and your goals are the action plan. Like,
Mhm.
and it's more or less is like, when you decide in your Scentsy business, or if you're trying to do a budget, or you're trying to get out of debt, or whatever you want to put this towards, is like, so this is where I'm ending up. I'm going to
Yeah.
be debt free. I'm going to be selling 2,000 a month in Scentsy. I'm going to be, growing my whatever. And there's
Mhm.
your dream, like your end goal for this year. And then you got to work backwards. So if I wanted to hit 2,000 in PRV every single month, what steps, what avenues do I need to go down? And then, like, what's going to give me? Do I do parties?
Yeah.
So that's 200 for each party. How many parties is that? That's 10.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, okay, if you start the progression of like, I want to have 10 parties every month, or I want to do 5
Mhm.
parties, and then I'm going to do 4 events, or however, you juggle it with whatever. And maybe it's not 2,000. Maybe it's like, you know what? I'm going to be consistent with 1,000. I want to be consistent with 750. I want to be
Maybe
consistent.
it's even just being consistent, because here's what helped me when I was, I wanna say, a younger consultant. Not really. I'm not old,
You are
but
not old. We are not old. We may be grannies,
but
but I'll tell you what, we still
we're
spry. We
good
still
looking.
good. We still good.
Um, but one of my when I really was like, "Okay, I want this to be bigger, right? I want this to be a business. I want it," because remember, I was the snail in this race. One of my biggest accomplishments was finally getting to the point to where I was just active every single month. And that was a big deal for me because I was never high in sales, and I didn't really I felt awkward doing it was just a whole thing. It was an ick thing for me. And so I felt weird doing it. And so it took me a while to get to that point, but I remember just every month I'd hit that active, I'd hit that 200 PRV, and I was like, yay me. And yes, of course, everybody I still to this day want 2,000 a month, but it's always that initial goal for me is 200. As soon as I hit 200, I'm like, all right, here I am. Let's go. Okay, let's just keep on trucking. But it's just like that little, I just remember that as a big piece. And I know I've got a lot of my team members who will get down on themselves, and they're like, oh, I can't get any sales this month, and I can't do that. And I think that, really just making it a goal to say, you know what, I'm gonna be active every month for the next 6 months. That's my goal. And maybe that's what it is, because once you get into that consistency, and once you start working I want to say just to that, because again, it was a big deal for me. And
Right.
I know it's a big deal for a lot of people too. But getting to that, it doesn't have to be that ginormous pie in the sky. Like, yes, I want to be a superstar director, but let's be completely transparent here. My goal for 2025 is to just be paid at star director.
Yeah.
I need to grow another director, and I want to be consistent at it. And so I want to get paid at title.
Well,
That's
and
my
that's kind
that's
of
my
where
goal.
that whole like, this is where I want to be at. So let's break
Yes.
it down. And for you, just getting paid a title, like, because this last month
Yeah.
I got paid at lead,
Mhm.
because I mean, I had over 1,000. I had 1,100 this last month. And honestly, when I hit 500, that's kind of when I breathe, because I know at least I'm getting paid as a
Yeah.
lead. I mean, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's kind of like my big, like, okay, so anything else is jelly, because I want to get paid on my team.
Of
At
course.
that point, then, because I know that I've done my part in it,
Mhm.
and I know that, I mean, I know I need to grow, but I want to start getting paid back as superstar consultant. And
Yeah.
normally I'm paid at star. Like, every single month I'm paid at star. This is the first time in a year, I want to say a year, that I've gotten just paid at lead.
Yeah.
And I'm okay
Yeah.
with it. Before, like, when I hit the director, it was so exciting. When I lost director, it was devastating. I was down on myself. I was down on what I was doing. I was like, you're not doing it right, because you should have been able, like, no one ever hits and stays,
Yeah.
except for Lisa, because Lisa's amazing. But, no one ever hits and stays their first time, because you do that big push and everybody pushes. And then, like, you have one person be like, okay, I pushed, I'm good.
Yeah.
That was the one off, like, that's it. And then they kind of stop, and everybody forgets that it can't just be one person. It has to be a team. And
Yeah.
for me, I have not been as involved with my team because I had to work on me. I can't be a leader if I don't feel like I'm able to lead.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't show that confidence when I was like the stuff I was teaching about was I wasn't completing. Like I would be trying, but it wasn't completing. So I had to take a step back and do I guess just a reality check is like, let's rebuild my own business to get back up and go through. And this isn't something that happens overnight. Guys, I've been doing
Hmm.
this journey since 2022 of rebuilding and trying to regrow. And it takes steps because you think and then the economy changes or something else changes, or I'm no longer working, I'm no longer around people, and I have to figure out like how to get new customers whenever I'm not face to face. Because
Yeah.
face to face, guys, I can make sales all day long, but I can't go knocking on doors and be like, "Hello, I'm your Scentsy consultant from down the street, and I can smell your house outside, and it needs to be smell better." Like I can't just do that. Like I can meet
Well, you
people, and
could, but
I mean, I could, but I probably, we don't in our small little town, we don't do a lot of like door knocking and being like, "Hello." We don't do that. Um, and it's probably a good thing we don't do that. But it's kind of realizing that I have to get back out there, but I had to get over my anxiety of, I isolated myself for so long that
hmm
going out in the real world is kind of scary, but going to school and being forced to go to class and forced to actually sit next to people and talk to a person face to face and not just on a computer or an email or text
yeah.
message or you know i'm I'm having to relearn my communication skills. I'm having to
hmm
relearn what how to process information, and
Yeah.
the school was the best choice I could have ever made. Like that's
I love
I
it.
don't have any regrets for any of last year. I may not have ended up where I wanted to be, but I ended up in a whole new plane. Like I'm just
Yep.
I'm somewhere different I didn't know I needed to be. And
That.
like I said, as like as the empty nester, as the one that's like, I'm free. And I'm like, to do what? I don't know. Like, just because you're free doesn't mean you're free. Like, your kids can leave,
Right.
but you know what? And you feel lost, you feel empty, you feel alone, and then all of a
Mhm.
sudden you're like, "But I'm free and I'm empty and I'm alone, so I could go do whatever I want." And you gotta have a plan for it. You gotta think about it.
Yeah.
In 5 more years, when Madison is done and she
hmm
maybe like, if she decides to stay home for college or she decides to move out and go get a job or stay home
Oh,
and go
she ain't going
work,
to college.
like, well, you never know. I mean, hey, Amber never wanted to go to college. And when we found out that it was because Blake is a Army veteran that he was able to have Hazelwood, she changed her entire mindset
Um,
of it's a possibility.
yeah.
And she did the rest of it herself. Like
Wow.
I didn't have to hold her hand. I just was basically all I had to do was just kind of be like, here's the doors. Pick which one you're going through because I don't want to shove you because I know if you shove me, then you're gonna come right back. And she did it all. She doesn't look
That's
back. Like I'm
amazing.
just like, are you alive? Like, are you okay? Did you stay? Did you sleep okay? I still want to do that
Yeah.
mom thing. And the last one's the hardest, man.
Oh,
Hardest. I'm telling you, Jack, it's
that's a,
but you know what? In 5 years, we'll have this conversation again, and I'll be like,
yeah.
"Mhm,
Yep.
it's not easy." But we can only do what we can, right?
Yes.
We prepare our kids, we teach them, we school them on life, and then we kind of like we were like the little birds, and we push them out. And we're
Yep.
like, "You're either gonna sink or
Yep.
swim, and just know you can always swim back here." But
hmm
I know we got really far off. It's been a long time since Jackie and I
Yeah.
had a conversation.
I know.
So but okay, so 2025. We don't really have
Mm.
words this year. I mean, all
I
I'm
don't
saying is
really.
that I have dreams. I don't have
Yeah.
the word. I have
Yeah.
dreams. Like it's it's undefined. It's there.
hmm
I'm working backwards. That's my goal. Is to break
Yeah.
it down and figure out where I want to end up and then the steps to get me there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm going to do with my business.
I
I got
like
to
it.
make sure I can maintain the 500. Make sure I need some new teamies. Like I need to be able to share it more, and I need to be more vocal because now that I figured out
Yeah,
TikTok, I'm going to be heading back over to Facebook and do both of them
I
because
love it.
I'm all online on school this year. There is no classwork. I mean, there's
Oh
no in
my
class.
gosh. Wow. Well, I am starting, and I did it, I shared it on my YouTube as well, but I'm doing with my group or my team, I'm doing the business blueprint every month. And so I really got that concept because, like I said, over this past year, I've just I'm slowly building back those little blocks of, this is the intentional thing that I want to do. This is a piece that I want in my business, but I didn't want it to be so big because whenever I plan huge things and have these huge dreams, I get lost along the way. And so I was like, okay, if that happens to me, and I feel like I'm a pretty good planner, um, I guarantee you it probably happens to other people too. So my business blueprint is really just setting 3 intentions for every single month. And for that month, those are the 3 things you focus on. And 1 month it may be sales, 1 month it may be sponsoring, 1 month it may just be I'm getting active.
Right?
What it's going to be different for every single person. But I think I'm hoping it will help others to see that it's those little steps that we take along the way that, again, if we do them consistently, then it all will get us to where we want to go, wherever that might be,
So
whatever that looks like
so
for
those three
everybody.
things, are they the results or the actions towards results? Like if you had to,
It's both. So it's three. So it's the 3 things that you want to focus on that month, and then it is the 3 action. Or how did I 3 or 5? I've got to look at my Canvas sheet again. I made a
okay.
whole template for
I
it,
didn't mean to
but
put you on the spot
then
here.
it's no, and then it's breaking it down to okay. So if my goal is to sponsor a new team member this month, what's an action item I can do to
Okay.
focus on that?
Right.
So it's actually taking an action item and matching it to what that goal is or that intention is for that month. So
Like for an
it's kind of putting
example,
those
if
two
I
pieces.
wanted to recruit someone, I probably need to have at least a conversation, at least one,
Yeah,
because,
right, right,
I mean, and then if they said no, I probably need to have another conversation and,
right.
and
And
kind of
then, hey, by the way, it's a
continue.
$20 join special this month. Oh my God.
Right. Exactly. So it would be and so breaking it down. So that's awesome because I think when I had that epiphany, and I know somebody else has said it, it was somewhere in the back of my mind because it was not me that I like, ooh, I created. Don't ever think that I'm not creator, I'm a duplicator guy. Um, but it was something more or less is that instead of doing the results, it's figuring out the actions to get you
Mhm.
there. Because if I said, "Hey, you message 3 people for a party or 3 people to join or 3 people to um order." Yeah, buy, order, yeah, party. Yeah.
Yeah,
So if I have to do that and I failed all 3, but at least I've attempted 3 different tasks. So I can at least say I'm done. Now if it's like get a party, well, it could take me 40 people to get one party and then I felt like it took me 40 because I had the result as my goal.
right.
So as anybody is breaking down their goals this year, figure out the actions and count actions, not in results. Like it's not really the 2000 a month. It is what is going to get me to 2000? What do I need to put into place? What is my skill set? Like if
Yeah,
you're a partier and you can book parties and you like doing the online parties or you like doing the in-person parties, or if you're an event person, find the events, create an event, do a open house, pop up, something like that. So you have to look at what you're good at. I'm not going to tell you only do in-home parties, only do online parties, only do this because it may not be your skill set.
yeah,
Because if someone
yeah.
told me the only way I'm going to get to 2000 every month is if I had an event, I would be then I'm not getting 2000 a month because I
See,
don't thrive in that.
and I think that's one of the main reasons why I really shied away from this as a business and really working it that way when I first started because my sponsor was very much so that way. She was very, Jacqui, if you don't do home parties, you're not going to be successful. And I was like, but I don't have people who have time to do I don't know those people. And she's like, well, you have to find them. Well, how do I find the people who want to have the home party? She's like, it doesn't matter. You have to find them.
Well,
And
I
then I
think that's
wouldn't,
all of it with direct
eh,
sales is that they
yeah,
act like, and granted, we are built on a party planning business. And like
yeah,
this month, if you have a party, no matter what it looks like, they're doubling the rewards. So if you're not sure about the party and you need to entice someone, they can double the amount of rewards that they normally would get in the month of January.
hmm,
So all of these little incentives, all these little tidbits that Cincy gives us is working on us building a business.
yeah,
And but
yes,
it looks different. And so when I saw that, I was
right,
like, double the rewards. I'm like, awesome, because I'm going to hit up the people that do parties with me. And normally what they do is they order for themselves and they get the rewards. They'll share it,
hmm,
but it's going to be more or less as like, did you know that if you can get 200 sales in this month, then you're not just getting the one, and don't forget the perpetual. So if you already, I always offer it because they're just ordering
hmm,
for themselves. They automatically get two. Now they're getting three.
yeah,
And then the air purifier, um, that they're giving an extra $35 filter. Like that's 35 bucks is
yeah,
a nice little chunk of change whenever you're adding
yeah,
up $250 air purifier.
yeah,
That's a great bonus and you can get a half price. Like it's
yeah,
a bundle in all at once. So there's so many different avenues that you can go because if a person was wanting to get that air purifier, it's 250. They're getting a free filter. They get an extra bonus on like the half price. There's extra.
yeah, because it's a party. That's a party. If
It's a
they just buy
party.
that, it's a
Like,
party.
yeah. And so they're getting extra rewards and like it's something that works in. So it's
Hmm,
find what you enjoy doing because I am tired of just doing this stuff because people tell me this is what needs to be done. I'm learning to find my joy. Kind of like how you were
yeah,
finding like your the self-help, the
yes,
like the me time. What is that to
yeah,
you? What does it look like to you? It's you got to find that also in the things that you do. Like
yeah,
what is bringing me joy? If me sitting there just watching TV all day long is what's bringing me joy, how else can I utilize that?
right.
It's kind of like if that's my me time and that's my, you know what,
Hmm,
I'm gonna binge watch 2 episodes and then I'm gonna go do something and do this or do that. It's kind of like, can I also do something while I'm doing that? What is the easiest
right.
thing? I'm already on my phone because I can't watch
Exactly.
TV without falling asleep unless I'm doing something. So, but it's a complete process.
Well, and it is, and it's different for everybody because for me, I mean, I still to this day am not the home party person. I'm also not a Facebook party person. My people don't like Facebook parties. I've had a handful. I think I only had like a small handful in 2024 of people who even wanted to do those. But what works for me as it's not a what we would think a traditional party, but it's simply my customers like the personal shopping links
Hmm.
because a lot of them are buying for themselves and then they get the added bonus of, oh, all I have to do is just share this link with my friend, like what people are doing on what TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook anyway, right? With, hey, look at what I got at Walmart, right? This is what, here's my Amazon haul. Oh,
Yep.
look, here, if you can get, look what Scentsy has this month. Oh my gosh, use my link and it's awesome, right? And my customers love that. And so that's a party for me. Those are my parties, or shopping links.
Now, and
And
we had a
that's
guest.
how it works.
Yeah, we had a guest that that's what she would do for their personal shopping link, but then she would give them like that little bag of things. And
Yes.
even if it was shipped, it was something
Yes.
small, but it had like the little cards of like, share this on
Yes.
social media.
Mm-hmm.
And and you could do it on a point thing. Like if you get up to 20 points, then I'll add an extra like half price. Hey, that's perpetual reward. Like,
Right.
it's like get up to 20
Right.
points and there's like 40, not 40 cards. Oh my gosh, don't do that many. But you have cards that you would
Yes.
go through and be like, there's 5 cards. And if 3 of them would equal the points of what they need, then they could do 3 out of the 5. You know,
Mm-hmm.
share it on social media and tag one of your friends. Send this text message to blah, 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 send me a screenshot. That's another point. There's so many different ways
Mhm.
that you could take your small part of, if they're only doing those personal links, it could probably even be a Canva template that you share that they can just scroll
Oh,
through and
yeah.
be like, here it is. So you don't have to mail anything. It's, again,
Mhm.
you got to find the joy and find what you're good at and find what
Yeah.
you like, continue being consistent. I was like, continue
Yeah.
to do it
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah, consistent. Oh my gosh, the word was gone. So,
And finding what works for you and your customers. So,
yeah,
that's one thing that I preach to my team, my group all the time is whatever it is that you like and enjoy, and maybe that is being on TikTok. For some people, it's Facebook. For some people, it's Instagram. Whatever. Lean into that. So how can you leverage that to your business? If being on TikTok is exciting and you want to be on TikTok, and then by all means, okay. Are we on TikTok? Are we talking about Scentsy? Because you know what? You can go TikTok live and you can talk all about Scentsy.
yep,
You could do a whole party on TikTok and
you could.
there you go.
Now,
If
and I
that's
I
what
will
works
be
for you, do it
I
that
will
way.
be very transparent. I'm on TikTok. I talk about it occasionally, but my
Mhm,
platform on TikTok, what now, it's in my beacons, which is basically
mhm.
like the link tree. It's in my
Yeah,
bio on TikTok. It's there. It's available. I talk about it, I say once out of every 5 times I go live, so that's at least once or twice a week. And it's kind of like I'm putting breadcrumbs because I didn't want to
yeah,
come on and be the Cincy consultant on TikTok. I needed, originally I wanted to connect with my girls. I wanted to figure out the things that they like to do and the videos they're doing and they're sharing, and then I wanted to understand the app so I didn't have to be an eye roll and be like, "Mom, let me show you." I wanted to, like, pretty smart cookie, and I wanted to figure it out myself. So,
yeah,
but if I decide to do a whole live, I could schedule it. There's an event. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on
yeah.
TikTok that utilizes a lot of the same stuff for the platform.
Mhm.
It is more interactive, tons
Yeah.
more interactive going live on TikTok than it is on Instagram or on Facebook when you don't have a huge following. Now, Jackie Duran goes live publicly, she's probably going to get 4 or 5 people that hop on there instantaneously because a lot of us follow her and have these little bells that we have on there, the notification, like Jackie's live.
Ding,
And
ding, ding, ding.
right, or if she hasn't gone live on her public page, it notifies a lot of her people saying, "Hey, she hasn't gone live in a while." But TikTok, you get more of that instant gratification of people will hop in, hop out. You just got to have tough skin, guys, because
Yeah.
they love to ask me about my hair because
Oh,
they love my
really?
oh, they love my hair and wanna know what color Subaru I drive. And, I tell them, I was like, "If you wanna buy one, I'll be more than happy to drive it." So, but you know what? And I roll with it because it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Like, that's the biggest thing is that because there's so much interaction, you're gonna get trolls.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
I will say it's not for the faint of heart, but you have to be consistent. You can't hop on one time and think that
Mhm,
you're gonna have 5 new customers or 20 new customers or you made 5 sales.
mhm.
People gotta know you, just like anything else. We talk about Facebook,
Yeah.
Instagram. They gotta know, like, and trust you before they're gonna buy from you. It's the same on platforms as it is in person. It's the same as, you know, so
Yeah.
but it's a different avenue. And
It is.
I am going to do a training sometime this week about how I went from 238 followers to 1,800 since October. So that
Oh
was
my goodness.
October 15th was when I started going live, and I had 500 and something people then. I mean, I had worked for about a month or so, just trying. I was like, I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get over this hump. I started going
Uh-huh.
live, and it was instantaneous. Like every time I went live, I was getting 5 or 6 new followers, and then I was in rooms talking to people. I'd get 5 or 6 more followers. Like it was a snowball effect because when you actually interact with any type of platform, if it's Facebook and you're interacting, that means you're commenting on other people's stuff, you're posting on stuff, you are engaging in conversation and communication to multiple people. That platform, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, they will send people to you because they're like, "Oh, person's a talker.
Yep.
They message back, they comment on other people's stuff. Let's put them as a suggested friend. Let's do this. Let's notify some of their other friends, see if they
Mhm.
can get interacting. TikTok's the same way. The more you interact, the more that you start kind of like seeing what it's all about, figuring out the features. Click it, click it, click it, click it. Like, guys, you really can't do anything wrong ish. I have to say ish. There are some buttons you got to read before you push.
Oh
I
gosh.
I accidentally went live because I thought it was a practice, and there was, but the slide wasn't moved over, so I went live, but not practice live, and that was my first time going.
Oh, see? Okay.
So a lot of
I
things
think
happen by accident.
and here's the thing, because I've only gone live like a handful of times, and um, one of the times was with my bariatric doctor that I work with, and we will collaborate on TikTok. And we went live one day, and he's on TikTok way more than I am, but even we got to the end of our live, and we're like both sitting there like, how do we exit out? How do we stop the live now? How does it stop?
Yeah,
I
it's the
couldn't even
small
remember
things.
how to stop the live.
Yeah. But it's more or less is that the more that you collab, the more that you are in what they call boxes, just like how we are
Mhm.
in boxes here, we are in two different locations talking to each other. It's just a different area, and it's something that it could be very useful for your business. It could be very useful if you're wanting to meet people or to like start having a life outside of your house. Um,
Yeah.
and I mean, I'm making a little like cha-ching a little bit on the side. So it's
See?
not a lot, but it was like $300 last month.
Hey, that's not bad.
I mean, that's gas money and groceries. I mean, well, I say groceries. That's a bag of groceries and some gas money.
Ah,
Sorry, I do have to make sure I qualify this as like that's
yes.
like groceries. It's a bag of groceries. But it's not a lot. But it's just, it's all about consistency. Now, my Scentsy business went down because I was focusing on something else. So now I got to figure out my balance between
Yeah.
Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and going back and doing my not, because I was doing a whole journal on YouTube, and I need to get back to figuring out like, okay, I now understand this platform. Like I still don't know much
Right.
about Instagram, but I haven't engaged on Instagram. But I know Facebook. So now I'm like, okay,
Yes.
balance these out, figure out what I'm going to do with Cincy in between. And then whenever I add school, then we just start adding three things to juggle, like I'm going to be a little juggler. I wish I had something here I could juggle because I can show you I can juggle. Three I'm probably good with. Four I don't know. So, but I think that's the
Oh,
best part about our
goodness.
business is
Yes.
we can wing it, we can swing it, we can grand slam it. Like it's,
Yeah.
metaphors and
Yeah. And we can do it however works for us individually. It doesn't, my business doesn't have to look like yours. Yours doesn't have to look like mine. Ours doesn't have to look like Waxy Cats. Like even between the four of us, right? We work our businesses
yes.
completely different,
Yep.
but it works, right? For each one of us, we've figured out what works for us. And I think it is a lot. I see a lot of the newer consultants as they're jumping on, they instantly are seeing like, like let's say like a big hitter in the world of Sensi, right? And they're like, oh, well that,
Like the Jackie
look at what they're
Duran.
doing. I'm not that big seller. Are you kidding me? Like, I mean, like, look at the people who, I mean, by the amazing Chloe Cox, right? Like, I was forever like, oh my gosh, I have to be Chloe, right? I have to do the things that she does because look at how
That's
amazing her
how it
business
works.
is.
Like,
That's
that
how it
must be
works,
how it
right?
works because she made it
Right.
work.
There's
Let's
the
work it her way.
platform. Here we go. So this is what I did. And I did it. And I was like, wait a minute, it's just not working for me. Why? What am I doing wrong? And then, so I lost myself and I lost all of uh, of I don't know, I lost the me in it, and I lost a lot of my confidence in being able to say, "I can make this happen," or "I can do this," because it all became about, well, obviously I can't do this because 'cause I'm not doing it. It's not working. And then I just wanted to quit and walk away.
Yep.
I was like, "Well, then this isn't for me, and I'm done."
Yep.
And so I do see a lot of consultants who get kind of it's that comparison, just like you do on any kind of social media. But it's really especially in the world of Scentsy and what we all want to accomplish, right? We all want to be at that status. We all want to be there. But at the end of the day, right, we're not going to make it there tomorrow.
Yep.
Do I want to be there by the end of this year? Sure. Heck yes, I would. But is that a realistic goal? Probably not, right? Like again, my goal is
Yeah,
let
it's
me
not
just
totally unobtainable because it
right.
would take a lot of work
It's a lot of work.
with you, and that's what some people is that they put these big goals on themselves,
Yeah.
and then they have so much stuff going on that then they get mad at themselves because they didn't give themselves enough time. And it's like, well, but there's only 24 hours in a day, but there's
Right.
24 hours in a day. And I can tell you the months that I did, so it was 2 Aprils ago that I was like $4,300 shy of hitting my annual sales. And I was like, I'm going to do it. And it was a everyday, an everyday grind to
Yeah.
message. And it was intentional messaging. It wasn't just like, hey, how you doing? It's like, hey, I
Yeah.
have a goal. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm needing. These are the options I have. Which one works for you? Like, can you share
Mhm.
me? Can you refer me? Can you buy from me? Can you set up a party? Can we do this? So I was down to the nitty gritty. There was no fluff. I'm getting to work and getting to the point. I'm not going to pussyfoot around of like, I need to get an order. Hey, how's your day?
Right. Right.
Oh, and get into that whole conversation. It was like the fastest way to the point between A and B is a straight line. It's not going up and it's not being fluffy. It's literally
Yeah.
just straight line going to it. And so it's doable to do anything like that, but it took it took a lot. I was about to say horrible. It took a lot of commitment.
Hmm.
It was scary. It was horrifying because I was like, "What if I fail?" And I was like, "But what if I succeed? Like, what if I do
Yes.
this? What if it works? What if I accomplish it? What am I like? What does this mean for me?" And that was my second
Yeah.
award. And technically, you can kind of see them over here. It's hard to see because they're glass, but they're there. But it worked.
Hmm.
Have I done that again? No, because it was for me, it was a lot, and I had life happen. I had so much stuff going on that it didn't work the same,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with that now. Like, before, is like, "Did it. I did it before. Why can't I do it again? Like, what's wrong with me?" Well,
Right.
I've been learning stuff. I've been
Yeah.
growing. I've been, evolving. I'm not the same person I was in 2020 when I signed up.
Right.
I'm not the same person I
So
was yesterday
yeah.
because it's a whole new year. It's a whole new me.
So yeah, I think it all goes back to if we focus on those maybe short-term goals of this is where what I want to get to. This is where I want to be. How do I work backwards from that? And then it becomes more attainable. It
Yeah,
becomes because if you start off with so much failure, you are going to, and I see it all the time. I saw it myself. I got to the point where I was like,
you crash and
obviously,
burn,
I
and
suck. Yeah, I'm done.
you're
This
like,
is
"I'm
this
tired
is
of
not
getting the
me.
scrape," and
Yeah,
it's sheer determination to get back up every single
yeah,
time, and sometimes you gotta
it
take a
sure
step
is.
back and be like, "Wait a minute. I'm going down this path because Jackie went down it. Jackie did just fine. She was able to get all the way through here." Or Lisa was going down this one, but that's not my path. And it's like,
Right.
"Wait a minute. There's a path over here. It may wind a little bit different. It may have a different hill, but that's my path." And
Yes.
that's where we forget is that we're like, "Ooh, I'm gonna follow directly behind this person because
Yeah.
I can do everything they can do, and I will only have the same challenges that they will have, and this is how they overcame it, and this is how they got through it, and this is how they succeeded." But we're also dragging behind our entire lives with us, and that's
Yeah.
not the same path. And it's kind of,
Yeah.
you got to find the road for you. You got to find your
Hmm.
path. And it's not like I can't look over at Jackie and be like, "Why are you ahead of me? Why are you behind me? Why are you, where are you
Right.
at?" Like, I can't sit there and expect Jackie to come down the same path as me
Yeah.
because it's totally different. I mean, we have two different personalities. My
Yeah.
grandchild is not as close. Like I can't just go visit my grandchild. I can't
I
just
have
go and
two.
be.
Well, technically, I have three now because so I've got my peanut. So I've got Ricky, who's two. My son just had his son. So he's a month and a half now.
Mhm.
Um, but his girlfriend has. So he's. I mean, they're not married yet, but she's two, and so yeah,
You have
she's obviously my
three that
grandchild.
are
So I have three.
accessible.
Yeah, yeah,
Ah,
and they're all right there, and it's amazing. But
abuelita?
yeah,
Is that how you say it? What's
huh?
grandma? What's grandma in Spanish?
Oh,
Abuela.
abuelita,
Abuelita. Yeah. Okay. I said it.
abuelita,
Okay. I was like, I thought I said it. And then I was like, did I
abuela.
say it right? I'm like, I
Yeah,
try. I try.
but I will say, I did. I didn't want to be grandma, but I am grandma. Everything is grandma. So, yeah, all the kids just know me as grandma. I was like, oh, I have to. I can't be a grandma. I can't have just grandma be my name. It has to be something different. No, I'm grandma, and I love it. I love every minute of it.
Well, and I was like, I'm gonna be granny. And my mom is grandma. And when I told her I was gonna be granny, and she's like, I don't know if you'd fit granny. And I started telling her, I said, well, my granny, which was her grandmother, was who we called granny. And see, because her mom was also grandma. And I was like, I want to be like her. Like I
Hmm.
feel that I have that wild spirit and I'm very laid back and I'm set in my ways that I'm open. Like I don't know how to explain that. And I was like, we have that fiery spirit. And I said, I will be the granny and I will encompass granny. And I said, when I start wearing my moo all the time, and I'm about to be a little explicit, she would bring out the Indian titty, and that is exactly what it means. She would chase the kids around the yard, and she did it for the longest time. That was just wild. Now, am I going to be that wild? I don't know. If I was 70 years old and I didn't give a crap about anything, I probably would, because who's going to tell me I
No,
can't?
no, I'm sorry. I'm not going to let you. Okay, that's not happening.
But that's the kind of person she was, because she was kind of like, you're gonna be a little titty baby, then here you go. And that was like, she was very upfront, like there was no holds bar. She did not like sugarcoat anything. She was just very
Mhm.
blunt with all of us. And I want to be, and that's where I'm at with Granny. And I know we got this may be a little bit more than y'all wanted to hear, but that's just, that's a little bit about me, how I was raised
Yeah,
by very strong women. So but you got to look at it as our lives are so much different. And
yeah,
2025, I'm claiming it that this is a year that is going to be so different than the last 4 years that I've had with Cincy, the
yes,
last 45 years that I've had on this earth. It's just going to be different. And I don't know what is moving around, what energy is going out there, but I know I'm in the right spot. I know where I'm at, and I
yes.
know, like, I just feel it. And this happened last year when I was going to school. My focus went away from Cincy because I was like, I'm feeling like I need to be here at school, and I
Yeah.
needed to be in that environment, and I needed to have that experience. And I can see how this year is going to be. It's going to be so different, and it's going to be so great, and there's going to be so many wonderful things that we're going to do. And like I just I can't wait to see how this
I
weight plays.
agree. I'm with you as well because that's how I'm feeling. Because now that I have again putting back those blocks to Jackie,
Mhm.
and putting in the things that actually bring me joy instead of bringing me anxiety and stress and being in my head all the time about it. And I'm like, no, the, what will be, right? But
Yeah.
I feel very confident in the the self rebuilding that I've been doing over the past 6 months or whatever, that I've been trying to figure out life and get everything back to. I feel back to myself. I feel very centered. I feel very good. I feel good. And so it really does give me the confidence, and it gives me. I agree. I feel like I'm in a good, balanced place for 2025. So I'm excited to see where it takes all of us
Yes.
because I really do feel good about it. I do.
And I think that kind of brings us to a really good stopping point of, our 2025 is going to be amazing. If
Yeah.
you guys are watching this or watching this or listening to this on any podcast or on YouTube, like, share, and subscribe. Drop down below in comments and tell us like what you are dreaming for 2025. Are you going to be breaking it down into goals? How do you want to achieve what you want to get done? And are you taking manageable bites? Like, can you break it down to where you can find your path? And with that, guys, I am Cassie Bollinger.
I'm Jackie Duran.
And this is Who Knows Best podcast. So, guys, we will be back next week. We are keeping our fingers crossed. We will have all of us back from the holidays and we will all be on. So, keep your fingers crossed. I know we are a day late today, but we wanted this to be special for the
Yeah.
2025 year and kind of kick this off.
We're starting off the year right. Here we
We are.
go.
We are. And there may be a couple other changes here on this podcast. We will see because I think I'm going to come up with some new graphics whenever I play around with
Oh,
Canva later on. So we'll see. We'll see. But I'm very excited. I can't wait to see you guys next week. And
yes.
I will end it with you haven't been told today, I love you. You are strong. You are worthy. You are important. And guys, 2025 is your year. We'll see you guys next week.